Now available in paperback and e-readers, Spellbound, A Darker Shade of Black. Get your copy today at your favorite online bookseller. There are some Republicans proposing that we need to end the $600 benefit that is given to many of America's unemployed citizens in addition to their regular unemployment. And these Republicans propose that we need to end that extra $600 a week because it is making American workers lazy and de-incentivizing them from looking for work. Now, these same Republicans propose that there are employers out there looking for employees to return to work, and they're having a hard time finding employees to fill their jobs. And I have to say to both those politicians and those employers, you're both full of it, and I know that you're full of it because of my experiences with many of these employers during the Great Recession of 2008 and 2009 when I lost my job, and all of the excuses I got from many of these people when I was out here looking for work during that recession. And I still have not found a full-time job to replace that job almost 12 years later. And I can tell you again from my personal experience, many of these employers are full of it when they sit there and say they can't find any workers, because I have been putting out applications and sending resumes through Indeed.com and numerous other websites to these employers, and I don't get any responses from any of these people who say that they're so desperate for workers. And if you're, again, desperate for workers, you're going to take whoever comes and says they want a job. You're not going to sit there and complain, I can't find workers. So that shows me how disingenuous many of these employers truly are, because they're sitting there saying we're looking for people to fill our jobs, but when I look at your application processes, they are almost either one, impossible to deal with, or two, they don't give you a response, or three, they give you a terse form rejection letter, which shows me again you are not really genuine about looking for anyone. Now, many of these Republicans, as this is going on, are proposing to end the $600 benefit given to almost 50 million Americans who are out of work, saying that the American people are lazy and de-incentivized to look for work because they're making more money than the employers are willing to pay. Well, I say that that's not the American people's fault. No, that's the fault of these employers who have been shortchanging the American worker for the last 2 decades now in our service-based economy. And if you're not willing to go out here and pay for labor, then you're not going to get labor. And in our COVID-19 affected economy, as related to these service jobs, yeah, you're going to have to pay extra because most Americans fear being out here with the public, and they fear the transmission of COVID-19. Moreover, they fear going out here to jobs where they have no health insurance or poor health insurance, so employers are going to have to offer better if they hope to not only attract talented workers, but they also to retain talented workers. And that's something many employers and many in the GOP don't understand about our economy. They don't understand that if you want people to work, you're going to have to give them a reason to work. And yes, there are some out here who are freeloading on the $600, but I believe 95 to 96% of Americans want to go back to work. I believe 95 to 96% of the American people want to get back to work because, as from my experience dealing with unemployment, it doesn't last long, and the whole unemployment situation is a very fragile one because you could wind up having your benefits delayed due to things like what happened in 2009 when the House and the Senate, run by Democrats at the time, decided to go on a vacation instead of before fixing an unemployment benefits extension. They decided not to vote for an unemployment benefits extension, went on their 2-week vacation, and then signed the bill, leaving Americans in limbo. With a full-time job, you usually know that you're secure and you know that you're going to get money as long as you keep coming to work. But most of our politicians, they're so out of touch with we the people, they don't understand that we the people want to go back to work, just like I want to go back to work. And I've been wanting to go back to work for over 12 years. Unfortunately, America's job market has erected what I call HR brick wall, which keeps talented and qualified individuals like myself out of the job market. And that HR brick wall, filled with nepotism, favoritism, and cronyism, has led to many companies not being able to attract qualified talent. And when qualified talent does apply for a job, they wind up getting pushed out because many in HR erect a brick wall. And these HR types are the thing hindering much of the hiring going on at many of these companies. So you have many in the GOP who are out of touch on this issue and believe that 50 million Americans are freeloaders, but American workers paid for that unemployment. And we paid for that unemployment every week in our taxes, and all Americans want is their money back to help get them through this COVID-19 crisis. That's something many of your politicians don't really understand about this $600 a week people are getting. This is the money of we the people, and it needs to be out here to take care of we the people. We the people need this money in order to pay our bills, in order to feed our families, and in order to be able to go and do things like look for another job. Now, many of these job markets out here are in really bad shape due to COVID-19 and the reactionary decision to shut down so-called non-essential businesses, because 60% to 70% of America's businesses are small businesses, and many of those small businesses were in a very fragile state when they decided to shut them all down. And worse, in the aftermath of this shutdown, many of those small businesses weren't able to come back, because when you're running a small business, oftentimes you're running things on a very razor-thin profit margin, and one hiccup can practically shut down that entire business. That was something many on the left and many on the right really didn't think about before they did this shutdown, and exacerbated America's economic problems as related to what's going on right now, because we probably could have had one or two of those small businesses still running had you not shut down the so-called non-essential businesses, and that may have kept several people employed, because many of these businesses, again, run on razor-thin profit margins, and many of these businesses run on the revenue they generate that month to pay for next month's bills, something many politicians weren't thinking about because they're disconnected from we the people. They're only connected to corporate interests, and they're not interested in helping we the people. They want to blame us for problems they help create, and this problem with the economy just shows again how out of touch these politicians are, because to blame we the people and try to punish we the people as related to the COVID-19 pandemic and saying, oh, you're lazy because you don't want to work. No, I can tell you from my experience with the Great Recession, I wanted to work since I lost my job in 2008, and I would love to have a job. If it was offered to me, I would take it in a heartbeat, but if nobody's offering, I can't accept. And many of these companies, they say they want people on one side of their mouth, but when you look at their actions, when you go to apply for their jobs, they then start moving the goalposts start rewriting the rules, and then start looking to present a whole host of laundry list of unrealistic standards that nobody can meet, showing us all they're not really interested in hiring anybody. They just want to complain about how they can't find any workers, even though you can show them that you're ready to go out here and do the work. You're ready to go out here to compete. And I believe, again, most Americans, if offered a chance to get back to work, would go back to work. And most of these employers, they just need to stop telling lies to the American people about how Americans are looking to just freeload off this money, because most Americans would rather have full-time jobs and get back to work. They want them to go back to work, but we just want you to stop lying about Americans being lazy. What we want is, we the people want to get back to work, but we want to get back to work in a safe work environment, a healthy work environment, and a work environment where we can get our healthcare needs taken care of in a timely and effective manner. If you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, and my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. And if you want to help me out, you can pick up some of my positive African American fiction or my men's issues books on Amazon.com. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Spinsterella. Discover the dark side of love in this goth and lovely romance with Spinsterella. Get Spinsterella in paperback and e-readers at your favorite online bookseller today.